draw a card
I
from
mean,
your opponent's deck.
I was convinced at a certain point that Kamado was going to win the game,
Mhm.
and the film deck just came all the way back. Do you think that was off of that Cursed Relic, or
Definitely, I believe that was the turning point, because Chalice wants to have cards in hand to be able to answer whatever situation it potentially gets in. It
All
gets
right.
stuff into.
So is there any way for him to, if that happens again, remove it?
Um,
Or is it just something he has to live with?
He does have. I did see a decay in his sideboard that destroys an enemy attachment.
but that doesn't? Does that stop? Is a Cursed Relic considered an enemy attachment?
I believe it is. He can also just hold up Protect to give himself Aegis should the opponent ever try to cast
So
on.
basically, try to counter that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Seek Power going to be the opening for Kamado. 3 lands in hand, very healthy for this deck. This is kind of something that this deck wants, right?
He is pretty far away from casting a Harsh Rule, which
No green available.
often comes up, in this kind of matchup.
But we'll see another Seek Power, so he can potentially get another one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's thinking about... Yeah, he's probably just going to do that draw 2 cards thing they've both
The
been
one
doing.
that we're seeing coming from
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
he's
Nets
doing the
here.
Elders.
The Film Control and
He's
Negate
actually gonna backlash it.
Backlash.
Interesting. Doesn't want his opponent drawing those cards.
Yeah.
No, I would say that's a pretty fair trade.
Okay, so beating down for 1, 26 to 21. Both players on 4 mana. A 2/5 that can, what was that, pay 7 to draw a card from each player's deck?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Blood
how
Color.
he got that Sandstorm Titan in the last game. So 2
And
cards.
here we have a Chalice.
You sound so excited about that.
Yep, here we have the Chalice. I mean, this is what this deck wants to do, right? It wants
Absolutely.
to find its Chalice and then start setting it off, right?
Yeah, the Chalice is its card advantage engine.
And Unex doesn't feel like he's putting enough pressure to pressure this Chalice, right?
Not right now. Well, Champion of Cunning is definitely going to
That
help
seems like it will help.
with that. But we have a Silence effect coming out, which can pop the Aegis, and can follow it up with a Harsh Rule if need be.
No second green yet available. But
Yeah.
being able to draw cards off a Chalice, still an option. And he did pick up the Protect to protect him from that Cursed Relic.
Yeah, and I imagine once Elenix gets in range to be able to cast, I believe it's like a 7 or 8 cost spell, that Kamado is probably never going to go down below 1 power again, just to always keep that Protect up.
So a second Protect available now for him. And we see a little glowing ball. What's that glowing ball?
The one ball is the activation of.
So he's going to draw 1 card from his opponent's deck and 1 card from his own.
Yes. Right? I believe it was the client was slowing down to give Kamado a chance to respond with possibly a Protect on himself if he wanted to negate his part of that ability.
Okay, so you can prevent half of an ability.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's really interesting. So going to drop that Sandstorm Titan, and no Chalice activation going to be available for Kamato. Temple Scribe going to come down and draw a card and gain a life for Unex.
It does look at this point, Kamado is in pretty good control here. Something else that he could do is that another Champion of Cunning was just played. He could actually burn one of his own Protects to cast on the opposing Champion of Cunning to pop the Aegis.
Pop that Aegis and then get
if he
ready
felt
to Harsh
necessary.
Rule if he's
No, he
ready
still has
do
to
that.
find that one.
Yeah,
there it is.
There it is. And I think he's going to try to hide that green mana until he's ready to spring the Harsh Rule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another something about the influence versus power system is the Seat of Order right now would come into play depleted, so it would not give him access to the power the turn he plays it, but it immediately gives him access to that influence.
So while he wouldn't get the power, he does get that. He would fulfill the double green
Yes.
to cast that Harsh Rule. Okay. So another double block coming in, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll trade 1 for 1 there. But Lightning Storm going to come in and wipe the board. And that's really strong, right? Because that takes away a Chalice.
It does take away a
Trade.
Chalice activation, which is pretty relevant.
Okay, so second Harsh Roll for Kamado is going to be the draw for the turn. And this unit is the 1/4 flyer, right? And it enters the battlefield and silences a unit.
Yes.
And he'll go ahead and activate the Chalice on that for +2/+2, drawing a card and gaining 2 life, right?
Correct.
Okay. So Unix on
Oh, plus
9
two,
mana.
+2/+2 and drawing a card.
+2/+2 and drawing a card. Okay. For some reason, I thought it also gained life. So a huge power boost coming in on Unix's side. Lots of 8 mana spells available for Unix.
Yeah, it looks like Elix is happy, or Kamado is happy just to continue building up his board right now.
Get those Chalice activations going.
Yeah.
And like you said, that 1 mana being left up to protect against any spells being cast against him. So another large power boost. Is he getting ready for an Alpha
board
Strike?
is getting big.
That's big. So the toughness or the health of the creature isn't going up, but that's a lot of power being put on the board there.
And and I think that's part of the reason that he's still not attacking into it, because he doesn't have like a ton of profitable attacks.
Because basically, Unix gets to block anything that has less than 4 power for free, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So Wisdom of the Elder is going to draw some cards. That's probably good. He's not quite ready to cast these 8-drops, I think. Gonna try to build up the mana a little bit more. What does that purple 8-mana spell do?
So that's a unit called Vara Fate Touched, or Fate Touched. She's an 8-mana 6/6 legendary. Whenever you play a shadow unit, including Vara, you get to play a unit from. You get to return a unit from your a shadow unit from your graveyard to the battlefield, basically.
That's pretty strong. That seems like another way for them to put extra creatures on the battlefield to take advantage of this getting +2 power turn.
Yeah, it's a way for the Felm deck to kind of recoup some card advantage, and also get extra uses out of its Felm Blood Callers.
So Harsh Rule going to come down and pop the Aegis on those 2 units, but we'll see a second Harsh Rule come down for Kamado, and he was just waiting, I think, till he hit 11 mana so that he could hold up that Protect.
Definitely what it looks like.
But we have a pretty strong response here from Unix.
Yeah, and Unix is bringing back.
And there it comes back with all of the power it had originally gained.
And that Aegis is back too.
Yeah, all power and toughness altering effects in this game are permanent and stay between zones as well.
Great. So what do we have 29 power on Unix's side of the board, but only 13 life for Kamado. We'll see how he wants to approach this board position. It's going to be tough, I think.
He does have some answers in his hand. Again, he can use one of those protects to pop the Aegis if necessary, and Island's Choice can take care of the Champion of Cunning once it attacks. He's definitely got a slew of blockers he can play. Sandstorm Titan can also be played to help block. So he has some options.
A lot of 8-mana spells here. I think that's constricting his options a little bit.
A bit. He's playing the full 4 called the Tempest in his deck. Those are typically used as finishers. He's been having to use them as removal spells.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it seems like he's just not drawing mana. He really wants to be at like 15, 16 mana, it feels like.
Yeah, it definitely would give him a few more options during his turns as well, having that extra mana.
So struggling a bit. This Channel of the Tempest...
Is he dead because of that?
He has the Protect, right? He can protect the Sandstorm Titan, right?
He can protect the Sandstorm Titan.
That doesn't negate the rest of the spell. He'll still get to draw 3 cards, right?
Correct.
It just won't deal the damage to the creature.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to see that Protect,
Okay.
coming in. So Protect, going to protect that Sandstorm Titan, but 3 cards going to be drawn for Unix. So 6 cards available for Unix and 6 cards available for Kamato. A 3/5 Deadly, and it silences all units in the opposing void and all creatures that would go there, right? Is that how?
Correct.
Okay, so a lot of power. So another Vara trigger off of that shadow creature. I completely forgot about that, pulling the other large creature out of the bin.
Yeah, I think Kamado, so the turn that he used 2 harsh rules to clear the board, I think he might have been a little too aggressive with that. Granted, he didn't know about the Vara
and I mean, I feel like that's why Unix is playing Vara, right? You really get to punish the clearing the board with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, is he going to get there with those channel
burn
storms?
spell to the face? Channel of the Tempest, yeah.
It is entirely possible that he might. He's got another.
So 13 health available, 14 after this. Varus favor goes off, and the Channel of the Tempest only gives 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is 11 damage? So not quite enough, and on top of that, it looks like Unix is ready for an Alpha Strike.
It looks like he might have one. Well, yeah, no, I think Kamato's dead here. Because UNX has 4 creatures that can attack, and any 2 of them getting through is lethal.
Well, there is still an Island's Choice in his hand.
And I think that's what he's being aware of, because if he gets cracked back, it's possible that he dies.
So he can kill the Vara,
so
and then block both of the champions to take 7.
Right. Okay.
He's not in a great position, but he's not dead.
He's not dead yet.
He's going to have to spend 3 mana next turn to decay the Azendel's gift.
Right, or he probably just loses.
Didn't he block it with the Protect?
No, he got that. No, he did not.
Okay.
He used the Protect to try to save a Sandstorm Titan.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, so another Vara available for Unix in his hand. And we have Kamato looking like he's trying to figure out what he's going to do. So, what's the total match count here? Is it 2-1? Oh, it says in the bottom right.
Yeah.
Kamato leads 2-1.
So he does have another game to give in the series. He could really... Well, I mean, the series of draws that he needs to get himself out of this...
I think he was pulling for his last
harsh rule.
Yeah, harsh rule there, because...
So, Sandstorm Titan going to come down for Kamato.
I don't think that's good enough.
It's not enough, it looks like. And we will see a concession for Kamato. So it really does feel like UNX has a pretty large advantage. These games do feel a little bit tilted towards the Fountain Control deck now, post sideboard.
Yeah.